love, luxury. The year is 1999. Sean Diddy Combs, a rising star in the hip-hop world, is already notorious for his extravagant white parties. In an interview with Entertainment Tonight, he boasted, "You're going to hear about my parties. They're going to be shutting them down. They're probably going to be arresting me doing all types of crazy things, just because we want to have a good time, you know?" Fast forward to 2024, and Diddy's words have a chillingly prophetic ring. He's behind bars, facing a mountain of criminal charges, including sex trafficking and racketeering conspiracy. Over 100 sexual assault lawsuits have been filed against him, with more emerging daily. His once exclusive parties, rumored to feature alleged freak-offs, are now at the center of a sprawling legal and moral reckoning. His solo album already has 174 title chapters in it. If convicted in his trial scheduled for May 2025, the man who once ruled the music industry could face 15 years to life in prison. From Harlem to hip-hop mogul, a life shaped by ambition and tragedy. Born Sean Combs on November 4, 1969, in Harlem, New York, tragedy struck early. His father, Melvin Combs, was killed in a shooting when Sean was just 2 years old. Melvin had ties to convicted drug dealer Frank Lucas, a connection that would later cast a long shadow over Combs' life. Raised by his mother Janice, Combs grew up Roman Catholic and even served as an altar boy. He graduated from Mount St. Michael Academy in 1987 and enrolled at Howard University to study business, but his entrepreneurial spirit soon led him to drop out and pursue his music dreams. In 2014, he returned to Howard for an honorary doctorate, a degree that was later revoked amidst the mounting scandals. Combs' career took off when he landed an internship at Uptown Records, where he was mentored by Andre Harrell. He quickly demonstrated a talent for spotting and developing talent, working closely with Jodeci and Mary J. Blige to refine their styles. This knack for artist development would become a cornerstone of his success. However, his cocky attitude and oversized ego led to his dismissal from Uptown Records just 3 years later. Undeterred, he launched Bad Boy Records in 1993 and secured a deal with Arista Records. One of his first signings was the then unknown rapper Christopher Wallace, who would soon rise to fame as Notorious B.I.M., Biggie Smalls. The rise of Bad Boy in the East Coast-West Coast rivalry, a reign of excess and violence. The release of Biggie's Ready to Die catapulted Bad Boy Records to stardom. With a roster of chart-topping artists like Faith Evans, Total, and Father MC, the label was unstoppable. Diddy's production crew, the Hitmen, collaborated with some of the biggest names in music, including Usher, Lil' Kim, and Mary J. Blige. However, behind the music, Diddy's lavish and often debaucherous lifestyle was already legendary. In a 2016 interview with Howard Stern, Usher, who lived with Combs for a year at age 13, described the early 90s as pretty wild, a stark contrast to the image Combs cultivated. By the mid-19th, the hip-hop world was embroiled in the infamous East Coast-West Coast rivalry. The clash between Bad Boy Records and Death Row Records, led by Suge Knight and Tupac Shakur, escalated into a deadly feud. This era was marked by escalating tensions, public diss tracks, and ultimately, tragic consequences. Tragedy strikes the deaths of Tupac and Biggie, a shadow over the industry. The late 90s were a dark period for hip-hop. Tupac Shakur was killed in a drive-by shooting in Las Vegas in 1996, followed months later by Biggie Smalls in Los Angeles. Both murders remain unsolved, fueling conspiracy theories that implicated figures like Suge Knight and even Diddy himself. The recent arrest and trial of Tupac's suspected killer, Dwayne Keefe D. Davis, who accused Diddy of ordering a hit on Tupac, further intensified scrutiny on Combs. Combs deputized immediately on anyone he believed committed the murder, were they to be carried out by cops, Davis, or Diddy. In 1999, Combs and then-girlfriend Jennifer Lopez were caught in a nightclub shooting. Both Combs and his protege Shine faced weapons charges, but while Combs was acquitted, Shine served 10 years in prison. The incident ended Combs' relationship with Lopez, and years later, Shine claimed he was made the fall guy for his former mentor. The long reign of Diddy, building an empire amidst controversy. For over 2 decades, Diddy remained a dominant force in the music industry. He continued to manage artists under Bad Boy Records, ventured into acting, and released his own music, including albums like The Saga Continues and the Love album Off the Grid. He also cycled through stage names, from Puff Daddy to Love, constantly reinventing his public persona. However, the cracks in his carefully constructed image began to appear in November 2023, when his ex-girlfriend Cassie filed a lawsuit against him, accusing him of rape, sex trafficking, and years of abuse. The lawsuit sent shockwaves through the industry and triggered a cascade of similar allegations. The fall from grace, lawsuits, raids, and a leaked video, the beginning of the end. In March 2024, the FBI raided Combs' homes in Miami, Los Angeles, and New York as part of a sex trafficking investigation. Combs, who was vacationing at the time, remained silent. In May 2024, CNN released a surveillance video that captured Combs physically assaulting Cassie in 2016. The video showed him grabbing her by the neck, throwing her to the ground, kicking her, and throwing a vase at her. Forced to address the allegations publicly, Combs issued a brief apology in a since-deleted Instagram video. His legal team later claimed that the Department of Homeland Security leaked sensitive grand jury materials to smear him, but a judge rejected this claim. As the scandal intensified, sexual assault lawsuits against Combs continued to pour in. Numerous women and men accused him of assaults dating back to the early 2000s. Often alleging they were drugged before being attacked. These allegations implicated not only Combs, but also members of his inner circle, including R&B singer Aaron Hall and rapper Jay-Z. Arrest and impending trial, a legacy in ruins? On September 16, 2024, Combs was arrested in New York on charges of racketeering, conspiracy, and sex trafficking. His trial is scheduled for May 2025, where he faces the possibility of a lengthy prison sentence. The fall of Sean Diddy Combs serves as a cautionary tale about the dangers of unchecked power, the abuse of privilege, and the consequences of a life built on exploitation and deceit. As the legal proceedings unfold, the world watches with a mixture of disbelief and anticipation, waiting to see if justice will finally prevail. The question remains: will this be the end of an era for the man who once defined an era?